Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of the Curious Sessions. So, today, as you've seen through the Thrive emails and through your calendar invite, I'll be taking you through how is Latin America coping in this pandemic situation through the perspective and the eyes of different brands and how they've responded with creative work. The purpose mainly is to inspire your current work and maybe future work on how another region is approaching this situation. So this will work as just like an inspiration session. So you might be asking yourself, who am I and why me? So I'm part of VCCP's planning team. I'm a strategist. I'm originally from Colombia, so that's why I'm talking about Latin America. And I've been working in the UK for the past 5 years, so I've had experience in Adland both here and there. Also, some of the examples might be skewed to Colombia, and that's the reason why I'm from there. And I have a few friends who work in the industry, so you'll understand why. And also, just on a side note, I've been hosting conference called CrossFit Session, which is high intensity training for half an hour. So you can just start your Tuesdays and Thursdays in the best way. So make sure if you want to join to drop me a line. However, I've been sharing the a calendar invite for everyone. It's all of the movements that we do are scalable. It's up for any fitness level, so there's no excuse not to join. So moving on, yeah, the you can see the picture. That's me in Bogota. It proves that I'm from Colombia. So moving on, let's start with a little bit of context, and this is really to set the scene of what you will be seeing later. This will help you understand what's happening there, how the governments have been reacting, and therefore how are people taking it. So in both Central and South America, I think that different to the UK, it has been a little bit more strict with the rules and how governments and nations have been approaching all of this uncertain times. So in Mexico, let's start with Mexico. There is a partial lockdown of different of going out to the streets. People have been going out to the streets to do their supermarket, like main grocery shopping, as well as pharmacy. However, face masks and gloves are mandatory. In countries like Guatemala, Peru, Ecuador, and Chile, there is a full lockdown, and also additional to this, there's a curfew. So say, for example, in a country like Guatemala, people are not allowed to be out on the streets after 4 p.m. In Ecuador, is after 8 p.m. Costa Rica has been well known throughout the region to be one of the countries that has been managed this in the best way possible. They have one of the best healthcares in Latin America, hence why they have, and they can kind of like live with a partial lockdown. However, face masks and gloves are also mandatory. In Colombia, Colombia is also on a full lockdown. There's not only a curfew, but the government has been trying to implement this gender system. So according to your gender, you can go out on certain days, and some other days you have to stay at home. I mean, this could be potentially very controversial, but at the same time, it can help to organize population in a very simple and actionable way. Brazil has been the president of Brazil has been highly judged and yeah, judged throughout the whole of the region because they haven't been taking serious measures, and they have been very relaxed. There is a partial lockdown, and I mean, this is the reason why Brazil at the moment is one of the countries with more outbreaks in the region. And Argentina is also fully locked down. People can only leave their houses to do 20-30 minutes of exercise and go to grocery shopping or to the pharmacy. And also the use of masks and gloves in the streets is mandatory. So the question of why are we here? What are we going to see today? And as I just said at the beginning, we are going to take a look at how our brands are responding to this virus situation. So I've organized the examples and everything that I found in two main buckets. So first, we're going to review creative responses to some needs, which are very similar to the UK. I think that us as an agency have been in touch with the press. You kind of like have been hearing stuff through the Look email or even through Twitter of what brands are doing. So these are similar approaches. And then on the next bucket, we'll be seeing and evaluating, well, we're taking a look at how are the responses different. And I well, as I said previously, I hope that this can really inspire you to the work you're currently doing or your future creative work. So let's start with how Latin America response is similar to the UK. So there are three needs or main needs that brand have been responding to. So first, we're going to take a look at our need to be encouraged. Second, we're going to take a look at how we want to help our community, those who are near us. And third, we're going to see examples of how we seek to feel in control. So number one, we need to be encouraged. And this is where brands have been responding with uplifting messages and initiatives. So first, I'm going to start off with an example from Colombia, of course. And this is Ramo, which is one of the biggest snack food brands. It's almost the equivalent to a Cadbury. It has been around through generations. There is a heritage. I mean, my grandmother used to have it. My mom had it. My dad had it growing up. I had it. So every single person has like an emotion to this brand, Ramo. And it's one of those, to give you an idea, it's one of those products that I would bring back to the UK every time I go back home. So what they've done here is that they've updated their product labeling to encourage encouraging and uplifting messages. So what's interesting about this is that it's an approach that it's very relevant to the current situation, but it's also timeless. So after all of this, say, passes, or like we're back to normal, the messages in the packaging can still be relevant. So on the left hand side, you can see a picture of how the normal or like the day-to-day packaging looks like, and the product names, whereas in the right you can see how they updated the packaging, and the labels read together, hugs, and moving forward, which is it's a very slang way of saying like keep on going. Another example from Brazil, it's a Hershey's, the chocolate brand. They've updated the branding on their chocolate wrappers to read Heroes, and this is the chocolate that they have been donating to various hospitals and healthcare across the country. And as well, the brand did a massive donation of 700 food baskets to vulnerable families. And again, I think I've been trying to surf the internet to find the pictures of the wrappers, and I think as soon as I share this deck around, I hope that during this time from now to the moment I share it, I can find the picture. So next, I'm gonna play this campaign first, and I'll talk you through. It's in English.
For those who are apart, for those who are together, for our friends, for our families, for those we know well, for those we barely know, for classmates, for workmates, for relatives, for neighbors, for those who share, for those with little ones, for those with older ones, for those who can't work, for those who can't stop working, for those who cough into their elbows, for those who don't gather, for those who don't kiss, for those who have face masks, for those who don't have face masks, for those who came back, for those in quarantine, for those who wish they could come back, for the elderly, for those who help the elderly, for the firefighters, for the sanitation workers, for the volunteers, for the first responders, for the doctors and nurses, for those in fear, for the fearless, for those who join forces, for those who sing from balconies, for the strong, for the fragile, for those who recovered, for those who are no longer with us, for those who are struggling, for those who never give up, for those who believe, for what we love the most. We will get through this. For everyone.
So this campaign was very famous in 2002. It was done in Argentina, and it was created to address the Argentinian Great Depression back in the days. So now they brought it back, almost like Budweiser's campaign, and they've repurposed a lot of like the messaging to address and pay tribute, well, to the frontline workers and encourage people to stay motivated. And what I think it's very like interesting about this campaign is the use of the brand's iconography. And I don't know, I really think it's emotional, and I like this campaign. So let me know what you think. So moving on to our second main creative theme is, and the need of, well, how brands are addressing this need of the how we want to help our community. Brands are definitely getting on board and supporting businesses and connecting people. So this example has been, it's been used from across the region. It's in Colombia, in Argentina, and in Mexico. And it is AB InBev, which I think many of you might know. It's one of the largest multinational drink and brewing companies. They're the owners of beers like Stella Artois, Corona, Budweiser, and many more. So what they've done is replicate this idea throughout many of the countries. And I think that how it's different from the UK in the sense that big beer brands sponsor restaurants rather than pubs. So what they have done here is to set a platform where you can help and purchase a future redeemable voucher. And what the company does is that it duplicates the help. So the restaurant will get, I don't know, if you get let's say an £100 voucher, then they'll put £100 more, and then the restaurant gets twice the help, and then you can enjoy, well, the voucher in the future when everything comes back to normal. What has been very interesting about this whole campaign is the rollout that they've had on social and digital. So given that it's many different beer brands, the ones supporting the main initiative, all of the different social channels have been replicating the message and really amplifying it. Another interesting idea, this doesn't have a brand behind it. However, I think it really addresses that need of the industry to come together. So it was a creative hackathon. So 8,000 creatives in advertising and marketing world came together to address, to work on a 4-day brief in order to produce 500 ideas on how to creatively tackle the new normal challenges. So the brief was organized in different themes. I have 2 examples here when it comes to the education sector. So, I mean, they're not groundbreaking ideas, but they do address a need of people feeling connected and being connected, but also adding value. So on the left, you have this idea that, well, it's a digital platform to connect lecturers and students across Latin America, specifically for art classes. So currently there's nothing in Latin America. Maybe there's a business opportunity there. You could potentially get in touch with them and sponsor it. Or the one on the right called La Caja del Cielo, which translates the box from the sky. And it is a digital animated mini content series to learn about Latin America and the Caribbean history. None of these ideas have been produced. I mean, they were just pitched. So I think it would be interesting to watch it and see how it develops and turns into something perhaps that brands will get on board with. This other example in Brazil, connecting those in need with those who can help. So the platform is called Precisamos, and it connects people in need with those, again, I'm repeating myself, who can offer help. But I think that what's very interesting about this is the list of categories that you can choose which help you need from. So on the left side, you can see the categories, and it's not only say food or pharmacy or medications, but it goes beyond that and explores that idea of needing to chatting someone over the phone. So maybe you feel lonely and you just want to chat to someone, but also you can ask for technology questions. So if I think that there's an opportunity there, it might be for brands to address. Say, for example, if you're on your own and your Wi-Fi fails, or you have no idea how to, I don't know, disconnect something, and just getting in touch with someone that can help you can be a great opportunity. Another idea in Brazil is this. It was done, by a non-profit NGO, and they have created a map to give visibility to initiatives that are currently addressing, well, the coronavirus in the slums and peripheries of Brazil. So these are very remote areas, which, if you've seen pictures, it's very, very cluttered, and there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of, well, poverty. So it's just an interesting way of trying to bring together all of these different initiatives. Another idea in Brazil is digital gift cards from those in need. So this organization, which teaches technology to marginalized young people, created the site which turns donations into digital baskets, which are gift cards that people in the favelas and these remote areas can use to buy food and basic hygiene products. But the whole idea here is to turn everything digital to avoid any contact between the people. Number 3, this is the third bucket on how is the creative response similar to those needs in the UK and in Latin America. So we seek to feel in control. So brands are providing help and advice on how to behave on this like new normal that we are all going through. So I think this I would have to say that this is one of my favorite ideas of the ones that I found, and it's encouraging social distancing through social media. So Lala is one of the biggest dairy companies. They're based in Mexico, but they also have they are also present in Guatemala and in Costa Rica. And what they've done in their Instagram is to use a post to separate every other post. So basically, they're just encouraging, well, social media distancing. So as you can see on the phone, well, on the Instagram account, there is a white square which reads, as you can see, our little Duolingo help translator. It says, "Remember to keep 1.80 meters of distance." So it's a very clever and interesting way of really encouraging this. So changing the logo to promote hygiene. I think this is not a new idea of how brands have been adapting their logos. However, we have been logos encouraging social distancing, and we have not seen, or I haven't seen in the UK, to promote the good hygiene. So Mercado Libre is one of the biggest e-commerce across Latin America. Is the equivalent to an eBay. And what they've done here is, well, very self-explanatory. You can see how they've arranged their logo. I'm gonna play this, and it's in English, so I'll just play it and I'll talk to it after and explain a little bit more, if it does play though. Okay, so this campaign was created in Panama for Ford, and I think that what it's really interesting is that it encourages social distancing by using the car sensor. So it really brings one of the elements of the product, and just indicate, well, how to indicate when others are closed. So it's kind of like a clever way of tying what the messaging to one of the product's, well, main features. The campaign was also supported by print and digital, again by showing this concept of using the car sensor. This is another example. I'm going to play it first from Colombia. I'll play it first and I'll explain. So Colombina, it's a well-known Colombian candy brand. It's a little bit similar to Ramo, which is this very like it's a heritage brand that has been around for a while. It's playful. You grow up with it. They have chocolates. They have ice cream. They have a bunch of like yeah very playful products. So therefore, in their communications, they use a very young and playful tone of voice. So I think that even through the music, you can see that it's a little bit cheeky. The hashtag reads "Home Sweet Home," and it's a social first campaign to reinforce the idea of staying at home by basically showing animals that and saying, well, the message says they like it when you stay at home. Another example from Brazil. So there was a joint effort from various organizations to coordinate their comms with a unified social channel messaging. So and well, the messaging was just to like distance saves. That's what the hashtag translates. So what they've been doing is interacting with one another on Twitter and on Instagram and just encouraging this conversation and really making it and amplifying it. So the participants included Havaianas, the flip flop brand, Johnny Walker, the whiskey brand, and 99, which is the local one of the local ride sharing services, among others. Well, here I think that this we've seen this again. This is not new, but given the fact that governments, as I mentioned at the beginning of the talk, in across Latin America have made it mandatory to wear face masks and protective wear, people are starting to kind of like create and finding ways to personalize, to make to person well to person to make it personal and to express your individuality through different designs. So I have three examples here from different countries. So in Brazil, they've created these face masks that match your outfit. Mahi Swimwear, which is a highly recognized Colombian swimwear brand, they've done these protective jackets. So basically, it has like a face mask incorporated. And then in Mexico, this brand has been replicating the embroidery, very traditional, from kind of like very authentic designs to really bring that element of making it individual and to you. So I think the question here is like, if it's going to be the new normal, how are fashion brands starting to adapt and to create things that will bring your personal side but also will help you protect from the virus. The last example here, I think that this more than anything was it's done beautiful. I think that it's more of like interesting approach. This is a Brazilian communications agency called Box, and the how they're promoting well the actions you can take and very in a very tangible way, but also alluding and making use of a popular culture. So I just wanted to share it because I think it's beautiful and inspiring, the approach that they took. So moving on to kind of like the second main bucket on how the creative approaches, well, it's and the creative themes are different between Latin America and the UK. So I think one of the main things is that people feel immune. I'll go more into it. Second of all, we'll see how the need of coming together gets addressed. And third of all, I just want to show you a few examples of how religion is part of Latin values. Not a single brand has addressed it, but it's a few of like approaches that I think it's very different to the UK. So people feel immune, and organizations have been trying to convince the Latin American citizens to really stay at home, and they've used a very bold tone of voice. So this is one of the cities, and it's the local city council that has created this campaign in Brazil called Teresina. And it is, I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. I don't have to explain it, but it's very in your face, very bold communication, and very straightforward. Where would you rather be? So it's provocative, it's challenging, and it's very, I mean, if people can react very easily to, well, easily, not quickly. Another example of this is in Mexico. The Association of Mexican Agencies, as in creative agencies, the equivalent of the IPA, joined their efforts to respond to the citizen skepticism. So in a very powerful out-of-home campaign, where the message is delivered straightforward, again, it's white text over a black background with a blunt message. So in the top one, it reads, mientras más gente en la calle, más gente en los hospitales, which translates more people on the street, more people in the hospital, stay home, stay alive. So I bear in mind that 53% of the population in Latin America belong to the informal sector and earn money on a daily or a weekly basis, which means that more people are going out to the streets because it kind of like opens and leads to a deeper and bigger question on whether you find something to eat or you get the virus. So it's just an interesting approach, the fact that it's out of home as a medium instead of being in digital, and it's kind of like the reaction of knowing that people are still going out to the streets. So these are two other, there's a lot of different messaging, but I picked the most blunt ones to make a point here. But the one on the left reads, you don't want to be locked down at home, but you do want to be in a coffin, stay at home, stay alive. And the one on the right reads, if you're reading this, our condolences, stay at home, stay alive. So again, it's this whole thing about delivering the message out of home. Okay, so the need to come together, organizations are bringing people together through a shared passion. This example, I've just added it here because I think it's not new. I think this has been happening in the UK. However, in Latin America, we're very passionate about music. So music is one of the things that has been bringing people together. So in Colombia, even though it was virtual, so across Latin America, people connected, they launched this campaign called Colombia Cuida Colombia, which is Colombia takes care of Colombia. And it was organized with various artists and various different actors and celebrities, local celebrities. And up to now, they've had 42,000 donors. So I think it's just kind of like not only connecting people through music, but also trying to donate and help others. But I think the big passion is football, and one of them, the encouraging people through football to keep together and kind of like to bring everyone, the nation together. It's an interesting approach. I'm gonna play this. So it's in Spanish, but it will only play a few.
Contra qué rival, no importa la disciplina. Desde Maracaná al básquetbol de Helsinki, pasando por el cuadrilátero de Tokio y las hazañas de nuestros clubes. ¿Cómo olvidar ese grito "Uruguay nomás" con Milton, los saques de Pablo, los saltos de Emiliano, las velas de Lola? Tapar bocas es algo que los uruguayos sabemos hacer. Por eso hoy nos tapamos la boca nosotros, para ganarle al COVID-19. Hacer un tapaboca con tus colores, esos que tantas bocas taparon. Lo que importa es hacerlo todo juntos.
Okay, so here, this was an ad done by the National Ministry of Sport, and what they do is kind of like recall various different sports moments throughout, the history of Uruguay as a country, to bring this message to life, which is a play on words. So bear with me one second. This is a very quick Spanish lesson. So basically, tapabocas means face mask, but tapar bocas, separate. It's like to hush someone. So taparle la boca a alguien is just to hush someone. So the message that they are delivering here is, we as a nation hush the mouth of COVID-19. So I think that you get it a little bit in the sense of the film itself, where you can see the different sports and then how they are even encouraging people to make the face masks out of the different like t-shirts from the different sports. I mean, the play on words might not be that obvious in English, but it's quite clever in Spanish. Moving on, next I'll play this, but this is another example from Peru, and it's a beer that basically they create this parallel between the nation coming together to support the national football team and how they now can come together to support the frontline workers during the crisis.
Escuche. No necesitamos un gol para coincidir todos en un aplauso. Ni somos la mejor hinchada solo por lo que hacemos en una cancha. Estamos demostrando que el himno y Contigo Perú suenan tan bien en Rusia como desde una ventana. Pero ahora agradezcamos con el alma a los que visten la bicolor como capa, porque son héroes los que se la juegan por cuidarnos. Vamos todos a salir de esto, de la única forma que sabemos hacerlo. Unidos, para que cuando venga la calma, se sorprenda y nos encuentre más humanos, más cercanos, más...
So I think that, yeah, that you get the idea of how they're creating this parallel among these two different, well, supporting these two different teams. I mean, if we talk about football, we cannot leave Brazil out, definitely. So one of the local football clubs created this outdoor campaign where they used the players and football terms, again, the parallel, to spread the message of social distancing, as well as selling well-branded face masks to encourage their use, which is a very interesting approach, again, because it means that whatever I wear, I'm going to express my own individuality and who I am. So the main poster, the one on the top right, reads "Dribble past physical contact." So, and then the small one reads "COVID-19 is like a shot by, well, this player Mateus Sales, comes from long range, hits full on, and destroys." And finally, this is just like an interesting cultural difference rather than something that brands have been responding to, and is how religion is part of the Latin values. And I just thought I would share because it's just interesting. So in Santo Domingo, which is the capital of Dominican Republic, the two local priests flew in a helicopter to bless the city from the virus, which I think it's pretty interesting because it's how it proves and brings really to life, well, the values and what's important for people. And then Brazil's Christ the Redeemer has been illuminated to pay tribute to the frontline healthcare workers around the world, but also to encourage the use of face masks, as you can see on the top image. So in summary, the creative responses when it comes to this whole virus pandemics COVID situation is both similar and different in Latin America and the UK. So they're definitely similar in the fact that brands have been using uplifting messages and initiatives. There is a support, there is this need to support and address how we can connect people, and brands are making sure to help and advise on how to behave. And how are we different? Well, brands in Latin America are convincing through fear, and they're exploiting a shared passion. So that's everything for today. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you want to discuss further, please let me know. You know my email and you know where to find me. Thank you very much.